Well, hello all our Facebook followers out there on River City TV. We are live at the Institute for Advanced Learning and Research. Joining me is Scott Longerbeam, who is our GIS Coordinator for the City of Danville. We're celebrating Geography Awareness Week with GIS Day. And we're going to tell you all about GIS, what actually it is. And the Institute has partnered with the city. Hello, Amanda. How you doing? Has partnered with the city to open the doors this afternoon until 6:30, so you can come out and learn a lot more about GIS. Yes. We've had kids from the city school system here today. Over how many have you had, Scott? I know you guys have been going nonstop since 9 o'clock this morning.
I think the grand total this year was almost 300 kids came out.
Very good. So you're going to get to see what they saw today. And again, the doors will be open until 6:30 today here at the Institute. So if you're watching us live, come on out and enjoy what Scott has to share about GIS, because there's a lot of really neat things. But first off, Scott, I guess when somebody's looking on Facebook Live and says GIS Day, can you explain what GIS actually is?
GIS stands for Geographic Information Systems, and it's a way to sort of spatially show a bunch of data. So GIS, some examples are we use it to map our parcels for the city website. We host a My Community map on the city website, which shows you city businesses, city activities. There's a park map that tells you all the different park names, the facilities located at the parks. We have story maps that take you on a journey through the Riverwalk, and the art trail, Danville Art Trail also, and the historic marker tour. So we use it for a variety of reasons within the city and outside for the public as well.
And I know Danville Utilities utilizes, and also the Danville Police Department. We recently launched a crime data map, right?
That's right. We have a crime mapping application that the City Police Department uses. For the public, we show the information on previous arrests, previous crimes that have been committed over the past 1 week, and we store that data up for, I believe, 3 years at a time. You can actually search through that. And then the police department actually uses some of the data that's available to do data-driven policing.
Very good. And really, you know, the utilization, I guess, of GIS just over the last 6 years has just become abundant, because I know when we first started doing this, people really weren't familiar, but now when you mention Google Earth or Google Map, it's a lot of what our viewers are watching this have utilized those applications. Just if it's just finding where their home is using Google Earth, but that's the same sort of thing we're talking about today, right?
Exactly. It's the same technology, and it has really exploded over the last 10 to 15 years, really. It's come a long way. It started out, most people knew it as a property mapping tool, and that was about it. And over the past, 6, 10, 15 years, it has really been utilized across the board in all different types of departments of forestry and power and light and public works and nature conservancy. All kinds of places are using it now.
Very good. And as Scott mentioned, we had hundreds of what grade level? Fifth graders?
We had fifth graders come through today, and we were sort of catering the GIS displays and the activities towards the fifth grade SOLs.
Very good. And so, of course, they want to make it fun for the kids, because a fun learning atmosphere creates that knowledge that they can take back with them. They're learning something. So Scott's going to actually show us what he taught some of the kids today. We've got a Jeopardy game. What are some of the other things we've got?
We had a Jeopardy game. We had a Where in Danville Am I? Okay. We also had a informational session on the oceans, and then we had another informational display on all the satellites that surround the Earth.
Cool. Sounds good. So I'm going to turn the camera around, and Scott is actually going to show us the first game, or actually one of the first satellites that he was showing some of the kids. So Scott, what do we have here on the screen?
This is actually a live satellite map of all the satellites that orbit the Earth. And as you can see, there are a lot of them. And all of these satellites, you can zoom in and out on them. And we were showing the kids how, by clicking on them, you can actually see the orbits that they take. And there's the information on the satellite that shows up over here, when it was launched, what country launched it, gives it the perigee and apogee, all kinds of information about where those satellites go, who launched them up, their different orbits. And I don't know if you can tell, Mark, but when you zoom in on the Earth, you can actually see the gray lines, and that shows over land where those satellites pass.
So I'm sure the kids had some of the same questions that I might have. Did not realize how many satellites are actually in orbit. It's amazing.
There are a large number of satellites in orbit, and it really gives you an appreciation, I think, for the scientists that launch these things out and how they figure out how to get them into orbit without crashing into another.
and I know you have some data as well that shows you the years that they were launched.
Yes, there's a satellite catalog actually that goes through and it gives you every bit of information from NORAD as far as the launch dates for the satellites went, what country launched them, what sites were included in it, the apogee and perigee information again, and you can scroll through these and it's just goes on and on. And not all of these are still in orbit, but there is a lot of satellites up there.
Very good. So I know another cool thing that you did with the kids today, it was a GIS Jeopardy.
Yes.
And I know they love that because we've been coming out to these for a couple of years now, and the kids always love to play the GIS Jeopardy. And again, we are live at the Institute for Advanced Learning and Research. Scott Longerbeam, our GIS coordinator for the city. It's a GIS day, and again, doors are open to the Institute until 6:30. So if you have any kids at home, maybe some kids in after school care, bring them on out to the Institute and learn more about GIS. But Scott, I guess let's try North American geography for 300.
All right, here we go. The tallest mountain in North America is, for 300, can you guess it, Mark?
Let's go B.
B.
McKinley.
That is correct. Mount McKinley. Mount McKinley is actually 20,232 feet tall, almost 4 miles straight up.
Lucky guess. Lucky guess. Yeah, lucky guess. All right, so cool. So we had those two things here, and then this is another application that I know they have a lot of fun with because this deals right here with places in the city of Danville. And Scott, they were able to pick these out on a map, right?
That's right. The game was Where in Danville, and the children were asked to take a look at the picture and find out what letter on the map corresponded to it. So for instance, the one shown now is the picnic structure down at Anglers Park, which would be A. And then we had everything from Carrington Pavilion to Mount Vernon Methodist Church and the Cannon on Virginia Avenue, City Hall. There was really just a whole variety of landmarks that are around the city, and it was to try to see if the kids can place them on a map as opposed to, just knowing what they look like.
Very good. And so, again, we were talking about the applications that we utilize within the city. Some of the same features, and also some of these are available to the public. When we talk about our art trail that was installed just last year, I know you did a nice walkthrough of where those are located, similar to kind of what we see here on the screen now, right?
That's very true. It's all very similar. It uses a map builder, a story map format that Esri has come out with. It's become very utilized through a lot of different cities, county departments use it because it can really tell a story with not only the pictures and the information, but the map to show you where it is in the city.
Very good. All right, Scott. Well, I know there were some other stations throughout the Institute where the kids visited, so we're going to head to another one of those. Where are we going to head now?
Yeah, we're going to go over and we're going to go take a look at the computer lab where we were showing informational session all about the oceans.
Okay, and again, we're at the Institute for Advanced Learning and Research. We're celebrating GIS Day until 6:30, so if you want to come on out to the Institute, bring your kids. Great learning opportunity for them here at the Institute until 6:30 tonight.
That's correct.
All right, Scott, so what do we have here?
So in here we are holding an informational session on the oceans.
Let's see.
Should we cut the lights?
Sure. We can cut the
All
lights.
right,
Yeah,
makes it a
very
little
good.
easier to see. So we have an Esri story map showing various ocean maps and a lot of information such as about the climate, ocean currents, and how that helps regulate the climate around the world. There are many different dimensions to this story map. We have satellite imagery from the GIS satellite showing storm systems, as well as this surface temperature map showing various temperatures at the ocean surface around the world. So when we had kids in here, they could pan around, zoom in and out, click anywhere to find out the surface temperature on January 1st, 2006, anywhere around the world. And what we really emphasized was the interconnectedness of all the oceans so that they know, even though we have no longer 4, but 5 major oceans in the world now, they're all connected, and we have currents carrying heat, transferring heat from the from the equator up to the poles and back. So that way we don't have as extreme weather as we would without them. And then we talked a lot about the surface of the ocean floor and how it varies depending on where they are. We talked about the Mid-Atlantic Ridge and how that is formed due to seafloor spreading, as well as the continental shelf going down into the continental slope.
Light imagery that helps to identify.
We have a sonar video.
Instructions. Here's a visualization created by a NOAA hydrographer that's beautiful to watch. It will give you a good idea of how hydrographers use sophisticated computer programs to transform sonar imagery into nautical charts and other products that help keep mariners safe at sea.
So the kids got to learn about sonar and how that's used to map the depths of the ocean and various other uses. They learned about bathymetry, showing different depths, and they learned about different terrains with this profile image, kind of giving them an idea of the different shapes and sort of the scope of how that would look if they were to slice the floor open and look at it as a profile view.
Scott, now is this something that if the kids are seeing this at home, is there somewhere online that they can access this information to learn more about the ocean floor and things of that nature?
Yes, Esri has a website, and it's called ArcGIS Online, and they also have story maps that are located. They pick out that are of interest or the best ones that they found of the day, and it's always open to the public. They can go view them at any time, and there's a wide variety of them. And then there's the ocean, there is about land, there's about elevations. There's just a really wide variety. I would really encourage people to go check out the ArcGIS Online site for the story maps.
So Scott obviously had a team from the city here today. Rachel,
right.
who is his assistant at the City of Danville in our GIS department, helped us out. And then we've got members in the back here that helped us out. And Scott, is there anything else you want to mention? Again, we are live at the Institute for Advanced Learning and Research. It's GIS Day. Institute is open until 6:30. Bring the kids out. You'll get to experience everything we've showed you so far. Anything else, Scott, that we've left out?
Yeah, just come on out, have some fun, take a look at the way the city utilizes GIS and the way that it's used in everyday life. And we have some goodies to give away, and just gonna have a good time with it.
All right, and before we leave, hello, how are you? Come on over here, Scott, so I can get the microphone. Again, this is the first year we've partnered with the Institute for Advanced Learning and Research, right, with their advanced learning curriculum. Tell me a little bit about why it was so important that the Institute took part in GIS teaming up with the City of Danville.
Well, at the Institute, we're also about promoting STEM education, and obviously GIS fits right in that with the technology, and a lot of people don't realize they use GIS every day. And so we're very excited to partner with the City of Danville and appreciate them coming out and teaching these workshops. And we're excited to have Danville and Pittsylvania County Schools here this morning, and we hope there's lots of participants for the open to public event this afternoon.
Again, we had a couple hundred kids out already today. Again, we want to see you out at the Institute for Advanced Learning and Research. If you're watching this live, come on out until 6:30. And again, if you don't catch us here at the Institute, you can always log on to the city's website. Scott has already talked about all the applications that we utilize in the city. It's some really neat stuff, great learning tools for your children at home. And again, thanks to the Institute for always teaming up with us and teaching some of that STEM education to our community, kids here in our community. So thank you so much.
And thanks to the City of Danville as well.
Absolutely. And all our Facebook followers, we'll see you soon.